Yep. All right.
All right, welcome to the show. I'm Aaron Action.
I'm Chuck Sassy.
And I'm Johnny Skulls.
Today we have a very special guest, national recording artist from the Glam Slam Boogie Woogie Rock and Roll Band from Omaha, Nebraska, and Chicago, Illinois, Midnight Devils. Here to promote their new album, Never Beg for It. Please welcome Sam Spade Morris.
What's up, everybody? How are you? I love the shirts so far.
Oh yeah,
Thank you,
Man, it looks incredible.
Yep, there we got it the night of the show. When you were here in Columbus, wasn't that that was the first night of the tour, wasn't it? Columbus, Ohio.
First night of the tour. What a wild ride.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So where can we pick up the new album at? We got it, but
it's available everywhere, anywhere the streaming services, Apple, Amazon, anything like that. We're a very social media friendly band, so you can go Midnight Devils, themidnightdevils.com, and we ship all of our CDs from me to you. So go to themidnightdevils.com. You can order the CD there. We'll sign it, ship it from my house to yours.
awesome. Sounds good.
Nice.
Where did the name Midnight Devils come from?
We were, Sniper and I were in a band probably, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. It was a hair metal band, like a hair metal tribute band. And this hair metal tribute band, I started with it when I was like 20, like brilliant. I'm 20 years old. I'm in this hair metal band. There's chicks everywhere. We're partying our asses off. We love this. And we decided that we were going to start writing originals and doing original music as well as the covers. And we put out an album called just simply Midnight Devils. And I was like, okay, it's a good idea. And the idea kind of came that it's that feeling you get on a Friday night, say just as the sun's about to go down and you're in a car full of your buddies and you're thinking, man, I know what we're getting into. I know that no matter what happens tonight, good or bad, there's going to be some wild story that we're going to be talking about Saturday morning. That's what the Midnight Devils came from.
Nice.
That's awesome.
We simply added the in front of it, like the Rolling Stones, just because we thought it'd be cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, would that band happen to be 3D in Your Face?
That's the band. Yep.
Yeah.
I was in that band for, man, almost 10 years of my life I spent in that band, and I loved it. I learned so much being in that band. It just kind of reached a plateau at a point where it wasn't moving forward.
Yeah. I discovered that band a few years ago. You ever been on the website Heavy Harmonies?
Yeah, I have.
That's I would go through there, and that's how I discovered a lot of bands. And 3D in Your Face is one of them I discovered. So yeah, so it's funny. I didn't know that till recently that you were in them. It's kind of weird that years later, come back around and with this new band. That's pretty awesome though.
Yeah, that band was great, and it really what it did is it improved our chops, and we learned so much of what to do and what not to do as a rock band that I don't look at that time in any negative light. We had so much fun doing it. It just kind of plateaued, and we needed to scratch that creative itch and kind of expand. And we wanted to see the world, and we weren't doing it with that band.
Yeah. So what happened with the Junkyard tour?
The Junkyard tour, I'm so sad that we didn't take that tour. First of all, I'm happy you brought it up. I love the guys in Junkyard. I think their single Lifer is one of the best songs that I've heard. And we got the opportunity to do it, but we had to go to LA to play. Like we did a show at the Whiskey with the Bullet Boys, or what was supposed to be the Bullet Boys, the reunion. And we turned down that Junkyard tour, and I'm just still kicking myself that we turned that tour down.
Because that's how I discovered you guys, because you were supposed to play Ohio. I think it was last September.
Yep.
And when I go see a band, if there's like an opening band, touring band, like I want to check the band out, and that's how I discovered you guys. And then I think it even got canceled though, so I don't think it even went on. Like
they did 10 shows or something like that, and we caught the very first night in Chicago, and the band is just so cool, so great. I talk to David all the time, and we ran into them in LA actually the last time we were out there with the choir boys, and I actually got to tell the guys, man, I love these songs, but I was sitting at the whiskey and I was talking to David, and he's, you know, just Roach is like the coolest dude ever. And to be able to just text back and forth with the guy from Junkyard, and he's like, go out there, shove it down their throats, make them sad they ever had the Midnight Devils open for them. And I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. It's a great band, a great rock and roll band.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
way
that
it's
was-
supposed to be done.
Yeah, I was pretty upset when that didn't happen, you know, but finally got to see you guys a year later, but that's cool. So what's the scene like in Omaha?
Omaha's different. There's a lot of great bands that are coming out of Omaha, but it's, you know how like in cities they go in an ebb and flow. It seems like Omaha's kind of been at like this rebound period since COVID. Much like a lot of cities, like a lot of venues shut down, a lot of bands stopped playing. So to us, we don't even play in Omaha very often. Like we'll play in smaller cities in Nebraska, say Lincoln, or we were doing a festival in a couple weeks in this tiny town that's going to bring 1,000 people out, you know, to celebrate original live rock and roll music, where we don't necessarily see that love in Omaha. So I'm not talking down on Omaha, but it's just for us, it's about getting out.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, yeah.
Columbus is kind of like that too. There's not a big scene here.
Yeah. It's all since COVID, the rules have kind of everything's changed.
Yeah. So you guys do Van Halen Panama live.
Yeah.
I noticed your stage presence is some David Lee Roth and Paul Stanley. So who is your influences?
It's both. It's complete. And I tell everybody this, it's a complete ripoff of Paul Stanley. Same with David Lee Roth. Like, I think those guys are the greatest frontmen in rock and roll to come out and really push the limits and the boundaries of being kind of that ringleader, that guy that you're essentially the host of the party, and it's your job to make sure that the party is a smashing success. Now, what are you going to do to get these people to go crazy? What's it going to take?
You do that well.
Yeah, you got that down. Like when you guys came on, man, that was Trex. Tell him what
Because when I first saw you, before you even picked up an instrument, you even had your back to us at first when you're walking on stage because you're talking to the drummer. I saw your crazy hair. I was like, oh my God, this is now a show.
Yeah.
Like, haven't seen that since probably 1987.
Yeah, one of his
appreciate
favorite bands is Pretty Boy Floyd. So, you know, that's the main reason we were there, you know, which I mean, I knew you guys too, but I wasn't expecting the show like that. But I did tell him, I'm like, I expected a big show from you guys, but I didn't know what it was going to be like. And you impressed. Like,
You were amazing, man.
Thank you. The funny thing going into that is that leading up, it was the first show of the tour, right? First show, and we hadn't done it. We hadn't played in maybe a month. So we drive all the way there. Hold on, real fast.
Yeah.
So we drive all the way there to Ohio, and we get there. We do sound check. Nobody's eaten yet. We haven't eaten. We sit down and we got a minute to breathe. And Steve Summers hits me up. He's like, I need a ride from the airport. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. So I have to coordinate because they're riding with us on the tour, you know, so essentially kind of our responsibility. So I have to coordinate. I drive to the airport with one of the local guys to pick them up, and their plane's like late, right? So we're running behind. And we get all their bags and everything. I get the first car sent out with the first load of Pretty Boy Floyd stuff. Second car's on its way back. And I look at the time and it's like the opening act's going on. And I'm still at the airport with no makeup on. I haven't eaten. I'm stressing out. And they finally come pick me up. They bring me back to the venue. And as we pull up to the venue, the opening band F-Bomb they're done. They're moving their stuff off the stage. And the guys are like, all right, you got 10 minutes to get your makeup on.
Oh, man.
Get up on stage.
And you got
Look out in the crowd. There's 400 people there.
Yeah.
You know, I was sicker than a dog. I was just so sick because I hadn't eaten it. You know, we were just so running around, stressed out like crazy. And they're like, all right, focus now. Pull it together. Get out there and do your job. As soon as we walk on stage, done. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't notice you were sick. You put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, you're like full of energy. You was not standing still at all. And it was like awesome. You jumped out in the crowd and did a song. That was amazing. I actually videoed that.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's a complete kind of a Paul Stanley ripoff. You know how he flies through the crowd
Mhm.
It's a punk rock version of Paul Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your favorite Kiss record?
It's difficult to say, and if we're gonna bring this up, I can talk Kiss with you all night. Like the first one I got was Psycho Circus, so that was my first introduction. So I know that's like a fans kind of frown upon that record, but I love it. So it was kind of my introduction to Kiss, and that whole world was Psycho Circus, and then I had to go back in. My favorites are like Hotter Than Hell, Rock and Roll Over, Creatures of the Night, some of the real strong, just house rock records that they put out.
Have you ever seen them live?
7 or 8 times, yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
Yeah, we got another guy who does a podcast with us. He's at work right now, but Kiss is his favorite band. We're actually going to do a top 5 Kiss song show after this. Would you like to stick around?
I would love to.
Yeah, and you can talk Kiss all you want for the, this episode here is all about you. I think the other guys have some questions, so Trex, go ahead.
All right. Well, you just finished the tour with Enuff and Pretty Boy Floyd, so I had some questions about that.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of mentioned a little bit about the traveling accommodations where you were driving with Pretty Boy Floyd. What was that like from show to show?
We'd already done a tour with them in September of last year. We went through Texas with them. It's kind of a different lineup. They had Eric Griffin from the Murder Dolls with them. And we did a week, and it was a great week that we had with them. I thought it ended too soon, and we were really bummed. But this one going in, like I said, started in Columbus. Like I get the first call from Steve Summers, like, I need a ride from the airport. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go, 20 days. And I have the most respect for Steve and what he's done. And I love Pretty Boy Floyd. I think Leather Boys is such a great glam rock and roll record. Just the sheer simplicity of it, the brilliance of the lyrics, the way the guitars sound. I think everything all together, it's a great record. So I just respect those guys. But becoming friends with Steve Summers was like the blessing in disguise. And being able to hang out with Steve, yeah, like learning from it. It's like being around Chip. You just kind of like around Chip. I just kind of shut up and listen to the wisdom that he delivers. So same with Steve. I kind of took in everything that he was telling me as like wisdom, like this guy's been around and done everything. And the other guys in his band are closer to the similar age than me. So we really got along great, where we would go out and party and tear it up and do whatever we wanted to do, and hang out after the shows at the hotels, where Steve was kind of secluded, but I kind of knew going in he would be like that. But hanging out, just man, the wisdom, the stuff he had. And he even told me, I go, yeah, we were with the Choir Boys, and the guy Griffin was managed by Larry Mazer, who was a Kiss manager. And he goes, oh, I got stories for you. I was managed by Bill Aucoin for a little while. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Give me this information. I need to know it.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So how well did the tickets sell overall on this tour?
It was pretty good. Like I thought that every show we look back and we're like, okay, was there any duds? And we had very few dud shows from my perspective as the singer of the Midnight Devils. I didn't think any show was a bad one. Some were well attended, some weren't as well attended, but you kind of go into that. You go into a tour expecting that.
Yeah.
But I think that the energy and the excitement of the whole tour package itself was so good that it will continue. And there'll be a third and fourth leg. Like, I think people wanted to come out and see this, and it didn't hit enough cities. And that there's these fans all over the country that really want to see this package tour together.
Yeah, I can't believe the tour that tour was that short. That's crazy.
Yeah. We do. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we like the second leg starts in October. So we'll meet back up with those guys and do Texas and Florida with those guys again with Enuff and Pretty Boy Floyd. But I think I hope it goes on into 2023.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I hope they come back. You guys come back with them.
I ain't never seen you, so I'd like to see your band.
Well, yeah, and that was, I will tell you this, Columbus, Ohio was the best show of the tour.
Awesome.
That's what I was about to ask you. What was your favorite city on the tour?
It was the best one.
It's funny. You mentioned playing here before at Bossy Girls.
Yeah.
It's funny because I mean I missed that one, but I mean I've been there. You ever heard of the band called Erotics? Or
Yeah, of course.
Prophets of Addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen both of them there. So like they get some good shows every now and then. It's a pretty small place though, but
It's a cool place, and I thought we played like a Tuesday night open jam, and we were scrambling for a gig. We did a lot of like headlining punk rock tours on our first one, where we were throw and go, trying to call places, be like, hey, we have a day off, we need a show. And Bossy Girls was like, yeah, come out and play. And they had a comedian. There was like the comedians opened up the show, and then we played after. And there was probably 10 people there, but the 10 people there, we had an absolute blast and tore that place up.
Yeah, I'm sure you got I'm sure you got a lot of new fans, you know, on this tour, because you guys, I mean, we love Pretty Boy Floyd, you know, and Enuff's Enough, but you guys were, you know, highlighted the show, man, because it was something different, you know, because those bands have been around so long, and you know, we kind of know them, but a lot of people didn't know you guys, and to see you, man, it was just so entertaining. So I'm sure you got a lot of new fans.
Yeah,
Tracks,
we did.
Go ahead.
The track
But I
was
noticed-
incredible.
I noticed that you brought the energy too. Like you brought the crowd forward. They were all in the back. You're like, come closer, and everybody listened. And you just packed the place. Like you had the energy. And the
my only issue was since the lineup kind of changed that night, that Enuff's Enough following you guys kind of didn't work for us.
Really?
Because the energy, I mean, nothing against Enuff's Enough, because your energy and Pretty Boy Floyd would have fit better after you guys. You know what I mean? Because it kind of, because Enuff's Enough's more melodic, you know, and then Pretty Boy Floyd's got energy. So kind of the way the lineup was that night was kind of all flips.
Yeah, I don't know why that switched like that.
Like, I mean, nothing against Enuff's Enough. We like Enuff's Enough. It's just that, you know, just that they're kind of different style, and, you know, and just they should have been on last, you know, they just, because we had so much energy, and then it kind of mellowed out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I watched it all go down. I was like, oh, you know, and then by the time Floyd was up, like half the crowd had already left.
Yeah, I know. That sucks, you know. But Trex, I mean to cut you off. Go ahead. And you have any more questions, Trex?
2 more questions, but it's about your first single off your new album, Never Beg for It. It's Loverboy cover, Working for the Weekend. Were you a Loverboy fan?
I always was. I remember my dad had he had this old, it was like a 65 Chevy Nova 2 or something like that. He would drive us to school all the time. We'd always have classic rock radio just cranking in this thing. And I remember as a kid, my dad singing that song, or not singing it, but, you know, we'd have it on, and everybody's working for the weekend. I just remember it vividly. You're colder than hell in Nebraska, driving in this Nova 2 with no air conditioning. My dad's like scraping the inside of the windshield. Everybody's working for, and it worked out perfectly. Like I love Loverboy. I met the guys once, and I think their songs are great. Their hooks are huge. It's a great rock and roll band. Canadian.
See,
They are.
I'm a big Loverboy fan too. A lot of people who's more into the heavier stuff, you know, Loverboy, they were pop, but they were a good rock and roll band.
Yeah.
But that song actually kind of fits with their name too. You know, the way you explained how you came up with the name, so that song kind of works with that.
And we had the story on that song is that we had done. So we finished the Choir Boys tour, and then COVID hit, and then we go, okay, well, let's write a new record. We did all the songs in Nebraska. We demoed them all out, sent them to Chicago. We got to Chip's house in Blue Island, and we played him the demos. He's like, brilliant. Okay, we'll fix this, change this, done. And then we're sitting there. He's smoking this joint. He goes, all right, the record label wants a cover. I think your first single should be a cover. So you guys come in tomorrow and make sure you have a cover. We'll record it, and it'll be the first single. I'm like thinking, we got to pull out a song that we've never played before and lay it down on this new record that everybody's going to listen to. Is going to be there forever, for the rest of eternity. We're driving around. We're going, what are we going to play? I thought like the Outfield, Your Love would be a cool song.
That's a good one.
To kind of glam up this real dirty song. And we're driving around in Chicago, and Working for the Weekend comes on the radio. And we just look at each other. We're like, that's it. That's the one. Simple as. Like there was no big discussion or anything. It was just, that's it.
That's awesome.
So I have one more question about the video.
Yeah.
Was the video concept yours, your band, or was it the director's? Or a
It
little
was
bit
it
of
was
both?
ours. It was ours. We had this idea. I enlisted like an artist to draw. I thought it'd be really funny just to do the Chris Farley character, but as a pink devil, right?
Yeah.
And we had that idea before we thought about working for the weekend. I had all this stuff already done, like the t-shirts and the pictures and everything. It's cool. Then working for the weekend came about. I was like, okay, this is brilliant. But I had my cousin is actually the pink bastard is what he's becoming our mascot now. But he's like the real life character of the Midnight Devil. And he had come in and done, like, he made an appearance at one of our shows, and the people just went absolutely crazy, right? He's from Nebraska, so he only gets to do kind of the local stuff from here. But the people went nuts. So it's this huge guy, my cousin, he's a cosplayer, he's great, he paints himself pink. And so I thought, well, we need to showcase this because nobody's doing anything like this. It's not serious. Yeah. Like, it's funny and it's entertaining and it's brilliantly rock and roll and creative, and like nobody would have the balls to put this guy in a video. But you know what?
I want that video 10 times.
We thought it was great, and so we kind of wrote the concept of recreating that dance scene from the SNL skit, right?
Oh yeah.
So we went into the videos thinking that's the direction that this video is going to go, and then once everybody got on set, we started rolling film. The concept kind of changed and it morphed into what the video became. And that was part of the director's vision. So I had the idea of the Patrick Swayze, Chris Farley thing. And then the director kind of took it and made it into something even bigger and better and funnier.
That's awesome.
Because I watched that video 10 times in a row. I just love that video.
Yeah, it's funny. And that's the thing that we talked about is that, hey, we're a band, we're a rock band. But we don't take this so seriously that it's not fun anymore. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be funny. And there's a sense of humor. We like to have a good time. So does everybody else.
Yeah, it's great video.
Especially that genre. You know what I mean? We grew up on that. It was fun. Yeah. Rock and roll was fun back then. And, you know, It wasn't serious, you know? John, you got any questions?
Yeah, I got a few questions. I've never listened to you until few days ago, and you know, you guys are really good. Sounded good.
Thank you.
And I was wanting to know, the fans are wanting to know, how did the name of your album "Never Beg For It" come about?
Awesome question. Very, very good question. So we went in with, I had another name for that's always how it happens. You have this kind of working title in your head, and I'm like, man, I'm not real thrilled with this working title. So we're sitting. There's another one of those nights. We're sitting at Chip's house, just talking. He's smoking tons of weed, and I'm telling him about this chick that I've been talking to, and he goes, bro, I've been doing this a long time, and there's one piece of advice I got to give you. Chicks come and go, it doesn't matter, but the thing you got to realize is that you never beg for it. You're the lead singer of the Midnight Devils. You never beg for it. And I go,
that's awesome.
That's the title of the album right there. And I told the guys, and they're like, done, easy.
So great story. It's awesome.
So like in my mind, I know exactly what the title is about and who it's about, but it can apply to anything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you and Chip Enuff meet, and Walter, why did Chip want to produce y'all's new album, Never Beg For It?
Yeah, we met because of Jimmy Mess. Jimmy Mess and Chip actually lived together. If you can even imagine that scene. First of all, I guess they lived together for a couple of years, so they knew each other. And we had started to do a bunch of shows, a bunch of touring with Enuff, and we became best friends with all the guys in the band. And I was like, it works so well. Our bands get along so well. And then we're like, we got to do this new record. Jimmy's like, let's get Chip to produce it. And then Chip comes in. He's like, I'm producing your new record, bro. Let's do this. We're going to make a killer rock and roll record. This is going to be fantastic. So we got in with Chip. Chip has been kind of instrumental in hooking us up with Chuck, who is like our manager, our booking agent at Artists Worldwide. Now they're out of LA. They kind of put the tours together and everything like that. Chuck got us signed to Pavement Entertainment. So that it's like this big circle of guys that are kind of in our corner fighting for us. And Chip is really the catalyst. And he's the guy that kind of sparked it all and has really kind of he's the one champion that's been in our corners since the beginning and really taken us under our wing. And I've learned so much from him. And it's one of those things where I just sit there and I listen to the wisdom that he gives out. And the one story I have, the brilliant story that I have about this tour is that we would go out like so on our days off, we get these texts from like Chip and the boys be like, come to the Red Robin, we're all having dinner. So the tour party would go to Red Robin, have dinner, and then we'd all pile in Chip's rent-a-van afterwards, and he'd smoke joint after joint. They called it the 3-joint after dinner party, right? Every night, and it was every night. He'd light one up and he'd pass it around, and then he'd light another one while that one was still going, and we'd have just the best discussions ever, laughing our asses off. Everybody's just like, he's like, nobody gets out of the van, nobody roll their windows down. And I'm just like, we're just dying in the back, and I loved every minute of it. And it was like clockwork. It happened every night. That's we cool. Had off.
That's awesome.
That's yeah. I know a lot of people probably want to know Highway 69. Well, the name pretty much says it all, but why did you decide to write a song like that?
That song came about, it's kind of almost a tribute to Sniper. Sniper always has, he'll write 69 on his hands, right? Mm-hmm. And so I just thought it was really cool, a really cool thing, and a double, like as a play on words, a double entendre. It's saying something without not really saying the words, you know? And I think that's how a lot of bands, especially like AC/DC and Kiss and Van Halen, would write these songs, but they wouldn't go overtly say what they were about, but you knew what these songs were about, right? So we were in somewhere in Oklahoma, I believe. Maybe it was going from Texas to Oklahoma, and there's actually a Highway 69, and I go, boom, that's a great idea for a song. And I just kept it in the back of my mind until we started writing, and I go, that's it, that's the one.
Yeah, speaking of Sniper,
here we go.
when we was at the show, the host, Aaron Action, he resembles him a lot, because he's like, man, I'm looking in the mirror now, I know what I look like with blonde hair.
But what's funny was when you gave him the card, it said Sam Morris. And for some reason, I was thinking, look, we've got the same last name, because my last name is Morris also. Oh, I'm like, man, not only do we look alike, we've got the same last name.
We're brothers.
Yep. That was funny. John, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Sound of Domination. Love the song. It has a nice heavy sound to it. What was the concept of the song, and what inspired you to write it?
That song was one that I'd struggled with really hard, because that was one, when we write songs, generally I'll come up with like some lyrics and like a basic chord structure that Sniper will turn into something very, very cool. With that song, he goes, hey, I have this riff. So I recorded it on my phone, and I sat here on this couch right here just going, man, the riff is too complicated for me to write lyrics to. I don't know what to do. And so I came up with that idea, Sound of Domination. All I had was that idea, Sound of Domination. And I had kind of the hook, and it was a very Crash Diet. That's kind of where the inspiration came from. It was a Crash Diet hook.
I love Crash Diet.
Domination. Perfect. Okay. And then I just kind of structured lyrics around the idea of domination, or being dominated, or that BDSM kind of idea, without getting real deep into it.
That's awesome, and it's a great song. I love that song.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, thank you. And I just talked to somebody, and they're like, well, what are you guys going to do for another video? Because we're going to be releasing a video for Highway 69 right now. Paul, the guitar player of the Choir Boys, is finishing up a video, like a live video that he did for Highway 69 that we took over the whole Choir Boys tour. So it's like all these clips we're putting together, and it'll coincide with the release of the Highway 69 single and vinyl. So all this stuff that we're working on, like we're doing an etched vinyl for Highway 69, and then somebody's like, well, what's the next video? And I go, well, it's probably going to be Sound of Domination, I guess. And I think we should probably have Chip do a cameo in it.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is something probably the fans would like to also know, along with us. So when you put on the makeup on on how does your stage persona differ from off stage?
It's a cool process, and I didn't know being Kiss fans, it's been said before, but it's like as soon as you start the camaraderie that we have, and like this is like Kiss on a budget, I guess you could say, because it's like you're getting dressed. You don't always have a dressing room. Sometimes we're getting dressed in the parking lot using the mirrors on the van to put our makeup on. New Jersey, there's no green room, so we're sitting on the street in New Jersey. Looks like a bunch of drag queens putting their makeup on outside of the But the camaraderie that we have is really what I love. And so the three of us will sit there and we'll just tell joke after joke, listen to music, and get ready. And that's really the moment. You have like about an hour to get focused and get your mind ready to take that stage. And it's as soon as the makeup starts going on, I stop thinking about, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I got bills to pay. Oh, I'm hungry. Like all that stuff disappears. So you start putting the makeup on and you become like, it's like a shot of adrenaline, the closest thing to doing drugs you can possibly do. Right. And it's like you put the last piece on, like you're putting on the glitter brassiere and you're like, I'm ready to go. I'm going to tear this place up right now. No matter how tired you are, no matter how many miles you've done, as soon as that stuff is complete, like it's go time. And we're taking no prisoners.
I love it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got any further questions?
No, I am done.
You stick around for next episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll close this out. If these guys come to your town, make sure you go see them. High energy rock and roll, highly entertaining, all around good dudes. Stop by their merch table, say hi, buy a shirt. Don't forget to pick up the new album, Never Beg For It. Any final words, like where can we find you on social media if you want to put that out there again?
Yeah. And like I said, we're a very social media friendly band. So drop us a message. I respond to everything, a comment, anything like that. TheMidnightDevils.com, super easy to find. And you can order the CDs. The vinyl will be coming out. But anything that you buy, anything that anybody buys for us goes directly back into the band to support the touring. So it's not like we're out here making tons of money. We do this because we love it, and I can see the progress. So it's like really like we do this because people buy our records and they keep the circle going. So themidnightdevils.com, we're on every streaming platform there is, Amazon, Apple, anything like that. Very easy to find us.
Cool. All right, cool. All right. Thanks, Sam Spade, for talking with us.
Thank you so much.
It's
my pleasure, really.
Yeah.
All right. Five and out.
All right.
Like I said, we got an album for sale. In about 15 minutes, we're going to be seeing it right over there. Anything you buy tonight goes directly in the gas tank of our van to get us to Detroit, Michigan tomorrow. Yeah! And you know what? Pretty boy Floyd is riding in the same van as us. Can you even fucking... So... The album is called Something Bigger, all right? It's